There has never been a time in human history where it's easier to create wealth than it is right now, but it may not feel like it. And because it doesn't feel like it, people think it's hard. But it's not really that it's hard, it's just that it's hard for you.
Today, we're going to show you why it feels so hard to you. At one point, we felt it too. And we're going to discuss why many real estate entrepreneurs and those switching careers to real estate often fail. And if you don't make these mistakes, your real estate investing business will succeed.
We just had a coaching session last week with someone who's in our program, a highly successful business owner. Before she joined our program, she felt like she wasn't as far along financially as she had hoped. She has been exploring real estate, specifically working with apartments, but hasn't yet found success in being part of a team.
Okay, as we go over them, make sure you write these mistakes you need to avoid when you want to grow your real estate investing business. Having been in this industry for 5 years and acquiring 9 large multifamily apartments worth over $300 million, let's just say we don't wish these mistakes on any of you.
Mistake number 1, clueless about your values. When we first entered the real estate scenes, we brainstormed among ourselves about what we could do. We lacked the net worth and also the network of investors needed to raise millions, and we found it difficult to build relationships with brokers. Brokers, being busy people, were keen on hanging out at Starbucks with newcomers like us.
You mean that latte is not going to bribe them? Additionally, living a non-landlord friendly state meant we couldn't directly be on the ground for asset management. So we thought the easiest way for us to secure deal was to focus on underwriting.
And it's true, that approach still holds. If you secure deal, you gain more control and you get to name your own price.
However, what we initially overlooked was the importance of partnering with seasoned pros. It wasn't that we didn't want to, we either didn't know our value or just didn't know what they were looking for. Honestly, we actually avoided this step completely. But as we became more adept at underwriting and consistently submitting offers, what we discovered was that people didn't take our offers seriously because we lacked the proven track record, especially for the larger deals that we were going after.
Now, we've been in the game for some time. We realize it's because underwriting is both art and science.
There are many smart people who excel at the science part, but mastering the art piece takes a long time to become an expert. This expertise is crucial and often missing in newcomers, which leads to experienced general partners being hesitant to partner with newcomers.
Here's the key reason why experienced general partners often don't partner with new people when they bring deals. Well, because newcomers often lack detailed knowledge of underwriting, market intelligence, aka localized market knowledge, etc. Similar to how babies are unsteady when they first learn to walk.
Just as babies frequently fall, new real estate underwriters are just beginning to understand the basics. Partnering with them often means starting from the ground up.
This isn't something that we don't do, but of course we do this with some of our key principals and passive investor, reviewing their underwritings and advising them on practical steps like obtaining insurance quotes or giving them our Rolodex of attorneys and go-to cost allocation specialists.
However, as you can imagine, this is very time intensive and reserves such detailed support for those who trust us with their investments and with whom we have mutual respect. So we had to shift our approach because we were focused on what we wanted, but not learning how to add value to the team, especially a seasoned pro.
That shift was crucial in landing our first deal. We met our first partner at an event, and one of them asked us if we could raise a certain amount of money while performing some investor relations duties. Knowing that this was what they were looking for, we confidently say yes.
And that led us to mistake number 2. Mistake number 2, operating from the duct tape approach. Duct tape may be amazing for MacGyver and his escapades,
And duct tape. Lots of duct tape.
but not so much when you're trying to make millions of dollars.
Not having a system in place and lacking guidance will crush your real estate investing dreams faster than any killer can.
You see, when we started out, we had no guidance on how to raise capital, and thus we had to piecemeal together information. That's the duct tape approach from various sources.
This approach happens when the real estate investor is reactionary instead of planning ahead. You react once you have a deal under contract, and thus there's no thought, logic, or system already set up so that you make this process effortless.
So what was our duct tape moment? Well, it started off when we didn't know how to communicate with our investors. Using a CRM?
What? It was a CRM, right?
It could have been IBM. We had no idea what that was.
Our first try at sending a blast email to tell our investors, with our tiny list about our exciting investment opportunity was a total flop. We innocently load up all the investor contact into Gmail and hit send all. And bam, undeliverable email messages start pinging back faster than a ping pong balls in a tournament. Can you picture our panic?
Then we were stuck, not knowing our next move. Talk about a classic newbie blunder.
This mistake wasn't just a facepalm moment. It really stressed us out. We were trying to get people excited about joining our webinar to dive into this investment opportunity. No emails means no invite, which means no investors.
As you might know, we take our commitments very seriously. For us, Integrity is key, and our word is as good as gold. The idea of letting our team down after making a promise to them was absolutely agonizing.
We were invited to join a team to raise monies and handle investor relation tasks, and we couldn't even notify the investor properly. As you might be aware, you could have a contract for the best deal, one that's really conservative and could potentially make all of us a lot of money, right? However, without the necessary funding, there simply is no deal.
And that was our first deal. We really didn't have a clue what capital raising was really about. We understood some basics, and we knew a couple people. We didn't have a system or a process in place for effectively managing it.
Beyond the email mishap we shared earlier, at that time, we were still struggling with how to set up a webinar, how to get the people to sign up, how to make sure they actually show up, what to say in the webinar, what to do after the webinar, and how to get the people to watch the replay if they didn't attend the webinar, how to follow up, and how to bridge any gaps in capital raising effort, and even how to track investor along the journey.
Let's just say we were nearly a miracle that we were able to complete the fundraising at all. We were a pretty mess, right? We ended up raising $3.9 million for our first deal. We did it, but it wasn't easy and definitely way harder than we had anticipated.
Just so you know, in multifamily apartment syndication, we actually on a tight schedule when it comes to raising capital.
After we enter a contract, there's typically just 2 months to secure the necessary funds. We actually can get up to like 2 extensions, which means that we bring our time frame to about 2.5 months. If we don't manage to raise all the capital by the deadline, there's a significant risk that we could lose our deposit to the seller.
Okay, moving on to mistake number 3.
We hear it all the time. Oh man, I'm in a deal. But when we ask who's the lead general partners and who's managing the property, the typical answer is,
Let me check.
to be frank, that's a red flag. Just as it's unwise to marry someone before really getting to know them,
You may kiss your bride.
entering into a deal without clear knowledge of key players and their roles is similarly risky, if not more.
If you're serious about transitioning into multifamily apartment investing or taking it to the next level and potentially making millions of dollars, it's essential to treat it as a long-term commitment rather than just a hobby. This venture could have significant implications for you and your family, so being selective and cautious is crucial. You wouldn't want to risk your future by partnering with just anybody, right?
In fact, in 2023, we turned on deals involving assets valued at over $250 million, billion with a B. It was a decision that was really significant to us, but we were committed to long-term success rather than quick gains.
For instance, there was one deal we decided to pass on which closed in Q3 of 2023. We won't name names, but according to an investor involved, it already has 2 capital calls.
Of course, we don't know the details, but we're glad we're not involved, right? Are you picking up what we're putting down?
If you can avoid these mistakes, your real estate investing business might face other challenges for other reasons, but it won't be because of these issues.
Now, if you're ready to supercharge your capital raising game and grow your wealth through real estate, all by leveraging other people's money, watch this video.